Welcome to the show, live from the sidelines. This is SNS Courtside.
What up, though? It's your main man, KP. We got Mike the Expert, and of course, we got the homie Blocker pulled up for Sneakers and Sports. Like, share, subscribe. We need all the support we can get. Chris Paul put it on Instagram, wherever else. At 3 a.m., the Clippers sent him home. That's wild work. This man came back to L.A. to have a full circle moment and retire with the Clippers because of the love of Lob City, and you send the man home. And Lawrence Frank got up there and said, hey, it's my decision. It's been documented that him and Ty Lue are not getting along. Apparently have not spoken in weeks. Ty Lue don't even want to talk to the guy. He rubbing everybody the wrong way because he's holding guys accountable. It's the same team where you have your number one player. You know what he's best at? Not playing. He's never on the court in Kawhi Leonard. You traded all the draft capital to bring in Paul George. Obviously, Bradley Beal didn't work out. He's doing the same thing he did in Phoenix, sit on the bench, be hurt. Same thing he was doing in Washington, he's hurt. And they're a disaster. They're a complete disaster. You've overpaid James Harden. They did beat the Hawks yesterday. I love the Hawks fans saying, where's CP3? I mean, I know you a Clippers fan, man. What is your take on this, man? Because to me, this makes the organization look wild. It's nasty work. I get it. He's not that good anymore. Maybe he shouldn't be as vocal. But the team is bad, yo. And that looked crazy. Chris could have stayed in San Antonio. He could have went back to the Hornets / Pelicans. Or could have went to the Hornets in Charlotte. What are we talking about here?
There was before anything, I should say that Chris Paul is the exact reason that I felt comfortable saying that I was a Clippers fan. I'll never take that. I'll never not say that. A very special player during a very special time with Lob City when we looked like the best team in the West a lot of seasons with Chris Paul and DeAndre and Blake Griffin in that group.
Just couldn't finish in the playoffs.
Which leads me to my next statement. A lot of people they've talked about for years that Chris Paul is an old school mentality point guard that will call you out. He will be coarse in how he speaks to you and how he conducts himself with the team. And it was always said that it was in the spirit of holding everyone accountable and making the team better. What we haven't seen in the 17 years that Chris Paul has played is for him to be relevant in the finals. He's only been once with Phoenix?
Once with Phoenix, yeah. It had a 2-0 lead and then lost.
And so shout out my man Big Mark that comes on the Fanatic Pod every now and again. He always says, and it hurts my heart when he says it, you cannot win a championship with Russell Westbrook or Chris Paul. And he's got a list of them, but those two always stick out because they were on the Clippers and were what I thought were key ingredients to what would be our championship run that never materialized. And so there's something to be said about that. And I think what we're seeing is the culmination of Chris Paul's portion of why he never made it to the finals. There's a line on how you have to do things as a player, especially with these young kids. These young kids, Chris Paul is just turned 40 in May. And as I just turned 40 in March. We're literally 2 months apart. And it's a different era today with these 21, 22-year-old kids who've been in the league 3-4 years, right? So, and you think about a Kawhi who did the same thing. He's been in the league 10, 12 years now. He came in when he was like 19 or 20. They move differently. They respond to things differently. When I thought about this sentence, when experts sent this topic, when I thought about it, the first thing that came to my mind is that Chris Paul is a relic of an NBA long gone.
So he doing that Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant stuff, embarrassing you, yelling at you, cussing you out.
That don't work no more. That's why LeBron is doing TikToks and he's friends with everybody. And he brought his son in to teach him all the stuff he doesn't know. Because I guarantee you, LeBron don't know all that lingo. Like I'm 40. I guarantee you, if you talk to a 19-year-old right now, you'll be lost. You'll end up on Peachtree talking to one of these 19-year-olds right now. So, and Chris Paul is in that mind frame, and that no longer works. And as much as part of holding people accountable is being accurate. Right or wrong is almost not even important if you can't present it the right way, right? And what it boiled down to is if we're going to build relationships, if we're going to, mentor the young players, if we're going to provide wisdom, right? We've got to be able to trust you. And if my head coach can't trust you, y'all haven't spoken in 2 weeks, what? No, of course, I'm not going to trust you to mentor the young guys. I'm not going to trust you to add advice to the older fellas.
And we seen how that goes too with mentoring people by beating them up. Look at Kwame Brown. It didn't really work out.
Absolutely.
MJ berated him and that didn't work out. Hey, expert, I got to get your take on this real quick, man. So they say you can't be the voice that's loudest in the locker room when you're not relevant or not a contributor anymore. And this hit me kind of hard. I was like, yo, man, I kind of think Chris Paul's like a journeyman. Like a straight up, like, you know what I'm saying? I started thinking about journeyman players, you know, the Gerald Wilkins of the world and stuff like that. I started thinking about guys that don't played on like a bunch of teams. You like, dang, I forgot he played for that team. And I was like, yo, Chris Paul there, bro.
Yeah,
well, here's the thing. To answer that, a lot of people become journeymen towards the end of their careers. I mean, Shaq became a journeyman at the end of his career. I mean, he played for Phoenix. He played for Cleveland. He played for Boston. You know, I mean,
CP3 got him beat, though. He got more jerseys than that.
But that's all right. But Shaq became a journeyman at the end of his career, and so is CP3. Now, Chris Paul, one of the biggest reasons why he didn't win a championship is because he was always injured. He got injured a lot. When he was with Houston with James Harden, he got injured. They probably would have beat Golden State that year, but they had a chance to beat him.
They had a 3-2, but he couldn't play in Game 7. He couldn't play in Game 7.
Chris Paul got injured.
Same thing happened in the finals with the Suns.
Yeah. So
listen, it happened with the Clippers. We were up 3-1 on Houston, on James Harden's Houston Rockets. 3-1. And in Game 6, he hurts his hand, or Blake Griffin hurt his hand. Just injury after injury with Chris Paul. It never fails. What's new?
Exactly. So here's the thing, though. I think, and I hear what you're saying, Blocker, you know, it's the way that you present it and everything. But I do think with this Clippers team, that's excuses at this point. Because this Clippers team is bad. So they're not listening to Chris Paul, but they're not listening to anybody else either because they're losing. They're bad. You got your best player. You don't even know if he's going to play. He's always in and out. I mean, and Tyronn Lue not talking, because Chris Paul wanted to have a discussion with Tyronn Lue. He wanted to have a discussion with him, and Tyronn Lue was like, no. Tyronn Lue didn't even get back to him. Wouldn't even, that's on Tyronn Lue. Chris Paul wanted to have a discussion with him. So, I mean, look, Chris Paul is a 12-time NBA All-Star. He's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. I mean, he's done what he had to do in this league. At 40 years old, most people, you're not going to be the same player. Michael Jordan wasn't the same player, but you know what this guy has done. You know what he could bring to a team. You know the knowledge he has. He's one of the 75 greatest players to ever play the game. They need to listen to him. They need to listen to him and take heed. You're going to get better from a player like him, a mentor like him. So I think they're doing Chris Paul wrong. They need to listen to him. This is his last season. They needed to let him stay on there, even if he doesn't play much. Let him stay on this team. Let him do his thing. Let him have his little, going away thing this season, and then let him go out and do his thing. Like, they're doing him completely wrong.
So this is the thing, though. This is the thing real quick. It's kind of like, I don't know if y'all know a lot about Gary Payton, but he kind of wore thin with people after a while because he had that same style of berating people and stuff like that. And especially wore thin when GP wasn't GP anymore, like with the Lakers and stuff. Now, it worked out. He got to hang around and make his way to Miami and win a championship. But there's other older players that it has worked out for, where guys like, like a Sam Cassell, he making be on all these teams and people want him around, or they feel like he's a difference maker. Or even, there's other players that I could think of right now, like a Robert Horry, hung around a long time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's other good players that have hung around a long time and people want them around because they add to the locker room. Like, I think you're right that he's not the problem. Maybe that's not why they're losing.
Right.
I think you're right. Kawhi is a reason. He's a big reason. And other things too. You traded Norman Powell. That was a horrible decision.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Horribly now.
My goodness.
So that's part of what's going on. But at the same time, put yourself in one of these players like James Harden's shoes. You still got the juice, and this dude over here barking and talking to you crazy. You want to hear that? You ain't gonna want to hear that.
Well, we don't know if he's talking.
I mean, that's what.
No, we don't know if he's talking. We don't know if he's talking to James Harden like that. He could be talking.
No,
to
I'm not saying to James Harden, but I'm just saying, like, put yourself in a position. You're a contributor on that team. Okay, you Zubats. You contribute. You start. You want to hear this guy talking?
Yeah, why not? Zubac ain't his career. He ain't nowhere near what Chris Paul has been. Of course, you want to hear what Chris Paul got to say. Chris Paul might help make you better. You might get in spots that you ain't usually in and get the ball in different places. I mean, come on now. Yeah.
Block, I'm about to checkmate him.
Okay,
This is something he told me himself. He told me when he was working the job, he was managing these young kids. They weren't kids, they grown. They were grown people.
Yeah,
they just was significantly younger than him. They weren't trying to hear nothing he had to say. And after a while, he quit talking and letting them fire themselves. He quit giving them advice
Let them
fire
fire
themselves. Why you do that? Because they tuned you out.
Because they got either. All right, so
they were drunk.
Let me go ahead. Let me present one fact. As a Clippers fan, I can tell you I followed for 10 years now.
Okay.
And one thing I've noticed over the last 5 years, is that anybody who says anything about Kawhi, out the door.
They disappear.
Yeah.
Beverly didn't say anything, but Montrezl Harrell did. Montrezl Harrell was a 6th man of the year. He was like a key piece of that 2020 playoff run.
Yeah.
What was stated was it was an argument between where it wasn't even an argument. He was yelling at Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and said that y'all are the superstars. Y'all need to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And the next year he was playing for the Hornets.
Attitude affect leadership.
Yeah. So the question is, was Chris Paul right? I don't know. The other thing that's kind of awkward is that Chris Paul, this is his final season. He's the bona fide Hall of Famer. And now, what hat does he put on?
Yo, that's wild. I didn't even think about that. If I was him, I might put that Hornet hat on.
He should put the
Clippers hat. There's no way he's putting on the Clippers hat now, right?
Yeah.
After that, you can't put on the Clippers hat now. And so it's got to be what? Hornets, maybe the Suns got into the finals. I don't know. But I'm not saying.
Well, he got a lot to pick from. He got the Hornets. He got, what's in order? The Hornets, then the Clippers. Then he got Houston. Then he got OKC. Then he got the Suns, and then he went and got a cup of coffee over there with
San Antonio.
Golden State.
Oh, yeah, and let's not forget Golden State.
He played Golden State for a season.
That ring chasing, bro. That ring chasing is troublesome, man.
Yeah,
you go chasing ring, and so it makes you wonder again. Like to your point, expert. I'm not telling you that what Chris Paul said was wrong, but like Mike said, I don't know if. Sometimes you got to wonder because the messenger is just as important as the message. And there's a right and wrong way to go about it, and he obviously picked the wrong way. And so you just wonder what he said, how he said it, and if there was a different way he could have said it. Obviously, it was.
These kids soft.
Yeah, I agree.
True. But dog, I coach youth basketball right now, and I cannot coach them the same way that you and I would coach.
No,
that would not work. That would not work. You remember Coach France will run us till we throw up if you do something wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just this society.
You missed one shot. He making you run. Remember you told me, said, you take a 3. Brown, you out the game. You took one shot.
Yeah, he did.
You can't make 100% of your shots.
So look, blocker. So look, I found out later in my life I have vertigo. I didn't know what I had back in the day when I was younger in high school and stuff. But now that I think back, I was affected by that. So I went and I was on a rec team and I was hitting all these threes and all that. So I came back to my school, to my high school team, and I was trying out for the team and all that stuff. And I went to shoot a 3, but my vertigo kicked in while I was trying to shoot the 3, and I shot it and hit nothing but the backboard. Coach Francis was like, no, Brown, no more, no. Man, messed me up. I was a 3-point shooter at that time, but I couldn't shoot another 3. So he never knew. He never knew. But I didn't know back then it was my vertigo. That's why I was getting all like delirious and stuff. It kicked in that time. And I was like, and I barely can hold the ball. And, I was like,
Blocker, I played for the same coach. I'm 6'1", man. I ain't no super tall person. I begged the coach to play, let me play 2. No, you go play a little bit of 3, maybe 2 minutes, because somebody got hurt, but you're going to be playing 4 and 5. I'm like, yo, man, I don't think I'm going to grow no more, though. It's okay. You'll get in that pain to get these guys at work. I'm out there looking like Rodman, man. Playing undersized like Barkley. I'm like Barkley. I'm like a young Barkley playing undersized. Now, I know I ain't got no professional career because I got it, dog. if I'm playing 4 and 5, I gotta get to 6'6", at least 6'7".
Yeah.
At least at 6'6", I'm like Draymond height. I gotta get that tall.
No.
Come on, man.
Them old school
Coach?
cats. It's a game long gone, man, and that's
Bro,
that's what.
This how I knew it was a big difference between when our level and professional. I met Allen Iverson and I met Gary Payton. Both of them guys the same height as me.
Yeah.
I'm looking at them eye to eye. I said, dang, bro.
These dudes play point guard, and he had me at the
Imagine
5.
somebody had let me play guard. Maybe I could have made it.
Uh-huh.
I might have my own shoe, man. That's wild. So let's end it here, man. Where should Chris Paul sign? Because right now it says, I think the number one odds is, and this is crazy, I don't know why we up there, but number one odds is actually the Cavs. I don't know why, because we have DG, we got Lonzo Ball, so I'm not sure what he could do, because we already got 2 point guards. They said the Knicks are number 2, and I want to say the Thunder are 3rd in the. This is Vegas ranking it, so it's not my opinion. It's Vegas saying it.
Yeah, he gonna ring chase. That makes sense. He gonna ring chase. So yeah, I would say so. Where will he sign?
So where would you like to see him ended at? The Thunder? He already played there.
The Thunder and get a ring. Thunder and get that man a ring.
Well,
or Houston. Houston's on there too, and Houston need a point guard. Fair VanVleet is hurt.
Well, none of those teams those teams may not want to sign him, right? Now, the thing about it is his best friend, LeBron, is on the Lakers. LeBron might tell them, hey, let's sign Chris Paul real quick, put him on the bench so he can, play his final season with me. He might do that.
That's a fair.
They can't, but here's the thing. The Lakers are in a one apron issue, and I don't think they have a roster spot. They don't know, but no, it's apron. The apron still don't matter about giving a guy, that don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Teams don't want to be like, they don't want, unless you compete for championships, you don't want to be in the apron, because then you end up like Boston.
Yeah.
You got to give all your players away at some point because you're so far over, because you start losing draft picks and stuff. So, and the Lakers don't have a roster spot. So, I don't know.
They can get rid of somebody.
Bronny?
Don't get rid of Bronny. Bronny's the future. What you talking about?
2.0.
Exactly. He the future.
Well, how about this, man? We want to hear from y'all. Where should Chris Paul end it at? And what do y'all think about how the Lakers did it? Not Lakers, excuse me. How the Clippers did him. I think it's nasty work what they did to him. It was really despicable. Even if he is being a cancer in the locker room, this guy's a legend, man. You don't let nobody come back and sign with you and then you do him like that. Like, share, subscribe. We want to hear from y'all. We'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.